All right, everyone, this is the last video of the DSP Reacts to the John and Howard expose or response video, whatever you want to call it at this point. At this point, I don't know what you would even categorize it as now that you've seen it with my responses. Let's finish it.
It could possibly be that I just moved and they're resentful about that.
Yeah.
So it could be that one, I guess, because that doesn't make him look bad in any way, you know. Well, that's funny. So, anyway, he moves. What he told me is in a couple weeks, when he's settled, he's going to contact me and we start doing stuff. So a couple weeks go by. He starts contacting me about things. And quite frankly, he's being pushy about it a little bit. I need to, let's do it. When do you want to do it? This weekend? What time this weekend? Is getting really kind of hammering out a date, kind of pressuring. And I think at one week we even had a date to record something. But I canceled on him because I was going through a very difficult period at this point. And I had every intention and desire to do stuff with him at this point. I had basically destroyed myself, Howard, as you know. I talked to you about it. And that's not me complaining, because being a man, if I'm talking about being a man, I feel like being a man is you make choices and then you deal with the consequences, right? Yeah. You don't run to complain online or cry about what the world owes you all these things. You deal with what you got to deal with, man.
And again, what is he speaking of? I don't know. When did I run to the internet and complain and cry about all these things that the world owes me things? Take a look back and tell me moments where I insulted Rambo and said that. People would ask me constantly, where's Rambo? Didn't Rambo say he was going to be in your stuff? Have you talked to Rambo? And I was trying to talk to John at the time, and he was basically trying to talk to me as much as he could, but you could tell that the guy was hurt. You definitely could. I'm not going to reveal anything private that we talked about, because there is a few private things that we did discuss via text. But I knew that Shazman a hole punch had basically put him in a really bad way. All the work he'd put in, time he'd put into it, basically he'd overexerted himself. He said so as much on the internet already. And people were constantly pinging me, where's John? Why isn't he in your content? And I'd be like, he just said he can't do it now. We'll do it later. We got plans. We're excited. We're going to do it in the future. And it was just basically delay after delay after delay. It wasn't like, oh, he canceled once, he canceled twice, he delayed. It was just endless. Oh, no, I swear we will do it. No, I swear we will do it. Swear we will do it. To the point where it then became, I can't do it anymore. Basically, don't bother me about it. Maybe one day we'll get to it. Okay? And that's where it was left. Where on earth is there where you're entitled to anything? What are you talking about? I never said I'm owed John to be in my content. That was never a discussion or a thing I said. But here's what's going on. The entire time that I've moved now, you have this mysterious circle of friends behind the scenes who are basically, as I said, poisoning the well. Oh, Phil's a scumbag. Phil owes everyone money. Phil did this. Phil did that. Phil publicized the death of a friend, and Phil did this and that. Man, John, you don't want to be doing stuff with Phil. You don't want to be associated with that. Look at all the negativity on the internet about him now. You know, he's getting, this is how you don't plays out the ass. He's getting this, he's getting that happening to him. Don't deal with Phil anymore. And that's what I feel happened. And that's my speculation purely. I think that John, at first, had every intention of doing shit with me. But as the year unfolded of 2014, and I had moved, and he was completely burnt out, he realized all the toxicity and shit that was thrown against me by internet trolls, and then the people back home somehow got soured, likely because of a certain gentleman on the screen right here who was part of that, and he just didn't want to deal with that shit anymore. Did he ever tell me that? No. Should have. Okay? But he never did. He just kept goading me on, like leading me on, goading me on. So there were situations where we had conversations, and I revealed information I should not have, reading from texts and things, because I was the one with the public face. I was the one with the business. I was the one with the YouTube channel. I was the one who every day had to answer to the public, where's John Rambo? I don't know. He won't tell me. And, you know, I definitely screwed up. I should have never revealed anything private. I should have never gone that far. That is completely, utterly my fault.
So I basically had a lot. I basically had a lot happening. I had really run myself into the ground, sacrificing a lot of things. Doing his content too. I was working on the episode, Shazman Hole Punch episode 9. There's a lot of work. I was doing stuff with Phil as well.
I had already moved. We're talking about months after my move. We weren't doing anything together. This is false. He was doing stuff earlier in the year with me and previous to that, but he was not involved with any of my stuff after I moved. That was all on him. I don't know what he's talking about right now. That was the issue. He said he was going to be in my stuff, and he wasn't. He just kept saying, no, I can't do it, no, I can't do it. So I have no clue what he's talking about.
And like I said, my job is I'm an independent contractor. I work in real estate. You have to, like, go out on your own and do things to find work. Like, you don't just show up for 8 hours and you get a check. You know, it's not how it works. Yeah. So I wasn't doing a lot of real life things because I was sacrificing to make something I believed in and had desire to do. That was my own choice. Okay? I'm not complaining about it.
I'm being told by Nave, oh, he's referencing before I moved. So you changed the timeline again. We're talking about after the move. That's what we're discussing. After the move, he didn't want to deal with me. He was saying he was burnt out. He couldn't do anything. Now you're saying, well, he's talking about before the move. Wait, what? Again, what's with this timeline in this video? You can't jump forward, back. None of it makes any sense. So now he's referencing something else completely unrelated. What is going on? This is what I mean. Like, it's definitely something meant to defame me, but just watching it, trying to understand logically, doesn't make sense. So, okay, he jumped back. Why? What's going on? Why are we back in the past now? I don't get it.
Bob's in a bad spot. It was winding down. I had to start figuring out real life things. So I basically told him, listen, when I need to finish this episode, it's almost done. Okay, I need to figure some things out. When I'm done, I will contact you, and we can do things. Okay? I actually didn't do my own show, the show. I didn't do it for all of July because I was doing precisely that. I was trying to figure things out. And I didn't do much of anything else. I was working on my stuff, man. Getting things done. So I'm finally done with the episode in August. August 13th, it comes out, which is a Wednesday. And I'm pretty burnt. I immediately decide I'm going to go on vacation for a couple days. So I go to Twitter and I say, thanks everyone for watching the episode. I'm going into the woods for a while. I'll be back soon. I went to Bear Mountain, Howard. Have you ever been?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, I have.
So I went to Bear Mountain. I camped out in the woods. I unplugged everything. There's no phone. There's nothing. Okay? Kind of like detox, man. Staring at a computer screen for, at that point, a long time.
Wow. I never knew about this.
I did this again this year. I do this every year now.
Okay.
So I didn't put a message. I didn't contact him and say, "Oh, the episode's up," because, like I said, there was an agreement that we talked about where I said, "When I'm ready to do stuff, I will let you know. It should be soon." But the episode comes out. I put on Twitter. I'm going away. He notices while I'm gone. He notices the episode comes out. So while I'm away, he starts throwing me messages again. I'm not around to respond to them. So that weekend, he makes a video, one of his videos that he puts out. He says, I've been trying to reach John, but he won't respond to me.
That's the rough plan for this week. Now, you may be saying, what's going on this weekend, Phil? Because you've been dragging us along every week. What's going on with John Rambo and with Smart Guys and this new show that you guys were going to do? We'd really be interested to know what's going on and is it going to return? In particular, right now as I stream and film this video, SummerSlam is on television. And as you can see, I'm not watching it, right? So people might be saying, gee, what's going on with pro wrestling? What's going on with Smart Guys? So this is exactly what was happening is John kept telling me he's going to do stuff with me. So I tell my audience, yeah, John says he's going to do stuff. We'll do it eventually. I'll let you know when we have details. And then John would not talk to me or not respond or not want to talk about it. All right? And so then my audience says, what's going on? There's a big wrestling event coming up. Are you guys going to do Smart Guys? I don't know. John hasn't contacted me or said anything, so I'm assuming no. But this was just an ongoing thing. It was just month after month. It was, oh, we're going to do it. Oh, time passes. Hasn't happened. Oh, sorry about that, Phil. We'll do it in the future when I'm ready. Maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks passes. Oh, doesn't happen yet. Could I have handled it better with my audience? Fuck yes. I should have just said to everyone, listen, guys, this is between me and John. We got to hash it out. We don't have any details. When we have details, we'll tell you. For me, I was the kind of person who was trying to be 100% transparent with my audience, which is a horrible idea. I know that now. I know you can only share limited information. The more you share, the worse it gets because people always try to twist shit against you. So if I promise people, John said he's coming back right after Shah's Man a Hole Punch. That's what he told me. And then Shah's Man a Hole Punch comes out and there's no John. Guess who they come to? Me. Not John. Me. Phil. Where's John? Phil, you said John was going to do it. Oh, God, here we go again. It was just an endless string of this that happened since I moved, month after month after month that year. And every time I opened my big mouth about it in a video like that, it just got worse because more people say, see, John doesn't want to be in Phil's content. John's avoiding Phil and all of that. Was it true? Was it not? I don't know. I can only know what John told me. He told me no. It was all personal stuff. He's saying as much in this video. But this is the thing. It just got worse and worse and worse to the point where it was constant hounding about John Rambo. Where is he? Why is he? Why is he ghosting you or whatever? Okay. Our conversations between us, you know, started off friendly. And then after a while, I think what it was is every time that I said hello to him, he felt I was going to ask about a show again. Which in reality, here, you know, to give you a very, very brief background. All right. John and I mostly never talked on the phone. It was mostly in person. He would come over to do co-op with me once a week, and that was the time when we had our conversations. And our friendship essentially was the hour or two before we recorded stuff. Okay? We had that personal time every time he came over. When I moved, under the impression we were going to have that. It didn't happen. And it's my fault. I am stupid and didn't realize there's a giant time zone difference. So as I'm streaming and doing content, all right, I'm basically working all day every day, and I don't have time to call him because guess when my free time is? After my streams. Guess what time my streams end? 9, 10 o'clock. Guess what time that is over there? Midnight. Do you think John Rambo would like to talk to me at 1 a.m. to talk about issues or anything? I don't think so. I don't think he wants to shoot the shit at 1 a.m. So I screwed up, and moving across the country, I thought we were going to be able to maintain that kind of camaraderie and friendship, and we couldn't. And that's on me. I moved. I didn't think about the time zone difference, and I had to work so much to make ends meet and pay for all the stuff out here. I didn't have days off. I just didn't have anything, you know. I really didn't. So now what happened? I start texting him instead. And at first he's responding and we're having conversations about stuff. But then he stops responding to the text. And I realize I think he's upset that I'm not calling him or we're not having conversations or whatever. But there's not much I could do about that. To me at the time, I was like, dude, what is this guy's problem with texting? Like, texting is cool because you can respond whenever you have a free moment. A lot of the times I didn't even know when I was going to have a free moment during the day. But John was always under the impression I was going to call him and have these long drawn out verbal conversations, which was what we would do normally when we had those 2 hours before we filmed. So in actuality, if everything had gone according to plan, and we did actually start making content when John had said we originally were going to, you know, we're going to get on a Skype call and we're going to do Smart Guys. Well, the first hour we would just talk and shoot the shit and catch up, and then we do the show. That didn't happen because we didn't do it. You see? So we never caught up. And the only time that I really had time for shit like that, even beforehand, when I was in Connecticut, was when I made time because John was coming over to do a day with me, a day of co-op, and then we would have our friendship, all right? This is basically completely different situations, you know? John has a separate life. John has a separate job. John has everything separate. My work was my life, you know? And even more so, when I moved across the country, I screwed everything up because I was overextended. I spent too much money and I had to work so much, I had no free time besides late at night. So that was the end of time to talk to John Rambo besides texting. So he hated the texting. I know for a fact. He mentions it. He's, oh, why couldn't he just call me? Because all I could do was text. Because the only time I had free was late at night because I was working all day. And that's my fault. Again, it's my fault. But that's what happened. And so, yeah, it sucks. Basically, what I should have said at this point, this was 2014, was, guys, I don't know even when I'm doing anything with John. Just stop fucking bothering me about it. I'd love to do it. Can't. I'll let you know if anything happens. Instead, it was just keep leading people on, keep going with it, keep letting the trolls get to me about it. And it just got worse and worse. Okay. Well, I'm very honestly going to tell you, that this past week, John Rambo finally, after years, released the final episode of Shanaz Man and Hole Punch. It's literally feature length. It's like the length of a whole real movie that you would go see at the movie theater, all right? In my opinion, probably one of the best independently created series, one of the best independently shot things I've ever seen in my life. You gotta keep in mind that John Rambo filmed this, wrote this, did all the music, did all the editing himself. And can you tell that I was very apologetic for what I had said about Project 7 years before? That I always felt really bad that I basically downplayed John's involvement? when he did Shazman a Hole Punch, I always tried to blow that show up and say how good it was. I always wanted to make sure that he was emphasized as a great content creator and a great director and all of that, because I felt so guilty about the shit that I had said about Project 7 in 2012, which we already covered. It's just a tremendous undertaking that he pulled this off with the ending that it has and everything. It was great. I loved it. And I watched it, and I tried to tweet out, and I hope if you guys have not checked out Schnozzman a Hole Punch yet, that is John Rambo's independent series, and I hope you will, because it's really well done, and it's funny, and it's intelligent, and you just got to check it out. I mean, someone who puts that much time and effort, it deserves more attention than it's getting, right? He started this 2 years ago, and the first few episodes were getting tens of thousands, if not, the first episode I think at this point has 30,000 views, and the guy put so much work into the ending, and because what's been going on with YouTube, you've seen everyone's viewership and following is dwindling, unless you're some huge YouTuber. And so, unfortunately, he's putting all this time and effort in, and it really deserves more attention than it's getting. So please check it out. If you like my content, you're going to love this. It's better than my content, in my opinion. When it comes to anything that I could script or write or do, you should check it out, okay? But that being said, he released that this week. And then after that, he pretty much just kind of disappeared. He actually only tweeted a couple times. I watched the episode actually on Thursday of this week, and I texted him. I said, John, great job. What a great conclusion to the show. Looked really good. What do you think about Smart Guys? Because SummerSlam's this Sunday, so doing it next week might be the perfect time because we could recap SummerSlam and kind of jump into fresh, okay? So, yeah, I texted him. What do I say? I'm talking about work. I guess that's my fault. It is. Not I guess. It is. I'm talking about, can we do a show? Can we do a show? At this point, he's so burnt out, he doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. You know what I mean? And again, the circle of friends back home are poisoning the well and basically telling you, oh, you don't want to do nothing with Phil. He ripped us all off. He's a scumbag. He's doing this. He's doing that. Why are you still dealing with him? And then I keep, asking, hey, are we ever going to talk? I wanted to actually get on a Skype call with him just to have time to talk with him personally, but, he didn't understand that. He thought it was just, oh, we're just going to do the show, you see? And you know what? I didn't say that, and that's my fault, too. A lot of things I fucked up. He didn't respond. So at this point, I don't know what's going on with John. He tweeted yesterday that he's going away for a few days, but he'll be back for his show on Wednesday. I don't even know what that means. Does that mean that, he's turning off everything, turning off his fucking internet and his phone, and he just wants to be alone? Apparently, yes. He went to this Bear Mountain, right? That's what he did. Time and effort into Schnozzman, he's burnt out. I don't know. Does it mean that he's not interested in doing Smart Guys? I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask. That's the thing. I don't know what's going on with John, and he hasn't responded. So, for me, I know that if I didn't want to be bothered and I didn't respond to something, I wouldn't like it to keep being pestered. You know exactly. What I mean? I already pestered the shit out of him.
Space, and if or when he contacts me and says, I'd like to do Smart Guys again and I'd like to do our new show, great. But if he doesn't, I mean, that's going to, I guess, be on his shoulders. We haven't had a conversation about it or anything. He just didn't respond when I tried to contact him this week. So it's all lays basically on John right now, and when he feels that, I guess, he's rested enough or relaxed enough or in a position where he can jump back in and do some stuff with me, great. But until then, I don't know. It all rests on him. So that's really the situation going on, but real talk. And I'm not saying that's a negative or a positive. It's nothing. It's just real talk. That's what's going on. And I'm waiting to hear back from John, and when I hear from him, I'll let you know what he says. All right? But as of right now, until I hear from John, it's going to be business as usual. Saturdays is going to be one gameplay stream, because Saturday is the day when I only do a half day of work so that I can go do stuff with Leanna. So it is what it is. If he's ready to come back, great. If not, I don't know. So I'll let you know. Yes, this is an example of me pressuring him. Someone just said, absolutely. And this is the kind of pressure, because it wasn't just me texting him, but then I would say shit like that in my videos, and he would feel even more pressure. Like, if he doesn't want to be in my stuff, and then I say that in a video, why would he want to be in my stuff? Right? So, yeah. I'm back from my trip. I got messages from him. I got messages from other people saying, why the fuck won't you talk to Phil? Phil's upset. And I'm kind of pissed about that, Howard.
Yeah, you should be.
So I'm kind of pissed about this. I don't contact him. I basically say, look, I'm gonna keep holding him to what I said weeks ago, which is when I'm ready, I'm gonna do stuff. I will contact him. The following week, I get more messages. They mostly are like, "How are you doing?" And then as soon as you say "good," then immediately goes right into the videos. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like a setup, and then videos. Videos. Are we going to make the videos? Let's do some videos. I need to tell people when we're making the videos. Let's do some videos. I don't respond to any of these messages because, like I said, I'm in kind of a bad spot. The episode had come out. Now I'm kind of like, all this time is kind of freed up. So I'm piecing my life back together, putting things back together. And I got things going on that actually matter beyond making videos with him. Okay? So I eventually get a message from him in the middle of the night, Howard. And it wakes me up because I'm sleeping. And I'm pissed off because I have to work the next morning. So I believe I woke up, I'm pissed off, go back to sleep. I remember waking up the next morning and very quickly responding to this in a very nondescript text response, which was basically, please count me out for a while. I'm looking to move. I'm trying to get money together to move. YouTube isn't going to help with that, which is in reference to doing stuff with him, okay? Because my stuff that I was doing isn't monetized, and I'm not looking to, I wasn't looking to make money with that as my creative outlet. And I said, I'm around most nights, please call me, okay? So Howard, I'm thinking the next day, Phil will call, right?
Yep.
Because I basically expressed I'm having a tough time, and I said, please call me. So I'm thinking the next day is I'll get a call and we'll talk about things. What I would have told him was, hey man, I need 2 or 3 months to get my stuff together, to get healthier and actually go to work and undo some damage, which is again I did by choice. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But instead, what happens, Howard, is I'm going about my business the next day. I get a text from the Air Raid Lord, and he says, "Sorry to hear about what happened." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving YouTube." I start getting other tweets from various people with similar sentiments.
Wow.
So I go, what the hell's going on here? So I go right to his channel, and I see that Phil did not actually call me. He instead made a video, a monetized video, by the way, where he publicly reads the text out loud.
All right, now the next thing that was a common question that people have been asking me for weeks, and I finally have a definitive update for you on this one, is in regards to John Rambo. As you know,
Just gonna let it run. Just gonna let it roll. Let's get major progress before I say anything.
John Rambo and I, when I lived in Connecticut, pretty much almost every week, it was about 3 weeks out of the month, would do co-op gameplay on a Saturday. We'd do our podcast called Smart Guys, where we would do live wrestling commentary on everything that's been going on over the course of that particular week in the WWE, and sometimes in TNA and even Ring of Honor and other stuff. And we had plans that we were going to start a new show once I moved to the state of Washington, where it would be like a coast-to-coast show where I talk about stuff on the West Coast, he talks about stuff on the East Coast, and we kind of, communicate once a week doing that. And everyone's been...
How cool would that show have been? And we did it like every week or every few weeks. We're talking about different coastal things. Imagine talking about all the shit that happened during, the Trump administration. Talking about all the shit that happened during COVID. That would have been an amazing show, I feel. What a lost opportunity there.
Saying, what's been going on with this? What is going on with Rambo? It's now been 2 months you've lived in Washington. You haven't done a Smart Guys. And I've been trying my best to keep you guys in the know and informed on what's going on. John was very inundated with work and working on his show Schnozman and Hole Punch. And finally, the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch was released last week to much acclaim. It's one of the best internet-based things I think I've ever seen in my life. It's really well done, especially for keeping in mind that John did 99% of the work himself, the filming, the writing, the editing, really. He did everything himself, the music, shit. And I didn't hear back from him after that. I texted him and congratulated him on the show, and I said, it's great. What are you thinking for our stuff now? When can we get started up? So I hadn't heard from him. Finally, last night, I'll be honest with you guys, I was feeling kind of, not frustrated, but almost worried that something had happened where he was pissed at me or something, that he wasn't responding to anything that I was sending him. And so I went ahead and I texted him again. I told you guys I'm the realest person on the internet. I got nothing to hide. I'm going to tell you exactly what we talked about.
Oh my God.
Text. And basically I said, here you go. I said, hey John, I hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you recently. I'd like to catch up with you, off camera. Don't worry about any filming. I just want to hear how you're doing. We haven't talked in a while and it feels weird to me. I knew you had schnozhole going on, but when you didn't respond at all to my text last week, it felt like something may be wrong. Just let me know. No pressure. I want to know where we stand and that you're okay. And then John did respond this morning, and he said, hey, you're going to have to count me out for a while. I need to get my money together so that I can move to a better place. YouTube stuff isn't going to help me with that. I'm around most nights if you ever want to call. So I did respond to him, and I said, all right, in the next couple days, I'll try to squeeze in a time when I can call. I know there's a big time zone difference. But the bottom line is, it sounds to me like John is just not interested in doing anything on YouTube right now. And I'm gonna talk a little bit right now, because I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I think that John does not get the credit that he deserves. I think that John Rambo in particular actually puts in an incredible amount of work ethic, effort, and time into his work that people don't understand. I think that John, unfortunately, didn't get as much, if anywhere near anything, out of the stuff that he put into YouTube like I did, all right? So I'm going to give you a quick bit of history. Back when I started on YouTube on a whim, you know, I started doing gameplay or whatever, and I had this huge jump in popularity because no one was doing gameplay on YouTube like I was. Everyone was either doing professional level walkthroughs, or they weren't doing live commentary, or it was all nothing like raw, unedited, real gameplay like I was doing on YouTube. I was the only person doing it like that at the time. And it became hugely popular. And then in that particular year, we were heavily into Street Fighter. We were playing Street Fighter 4. Years passing after that into, you know, 2009, 2010, John and I started doing co-op of gameplay and stuff like that. And so John that year actually qualified to go to Super Battle Opera in Japan. And at Super Battle Opera, you know, he documented everything. He went and he videotaped everything. And because he had a following of people who knew who he was from my content, he made his own YouTube channel, John Rambo Presents. He documented his whole trip to Japan, and it was huge, like popular as hell. People watched the hell out of the videos. They're like, wow, John, we love your footage. Would you consider doing gameplay of your own? Would you consider doing projects of your own? And so at that time, John did a few things. He started a series called Games the Series, where he was just playing random games at a gaming store where he knew the employees there. And also with his other friends, off-camera friends who people didn't know. We're doing co-commentary with him. And then after a while, he decided he didn't want to do that, that he'd prefer to just do gameplay with me, and he went in his own direction on his channel, and he started doing things such as The Show, which is his weekly podcast with OJ, where for about 2 hours, the two of them shoot the shit. They talk about different topics. They do comedy skits. They have guests. They play music. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a 2-hour variety show that I'm very much a huge fan of. And it's funny because when the show started, we're talking some 2 to 3 years ago now, it was just a podcast, meaning there was no video. It was like just audio. You could listen to it as an audio show, and they would put up pictures and stuff that would go through, but it wasn't anything you needed to see. You could literally just listen to the show and be doing other stuff, and you missed nothing. Over the years, John Rambo's The Show has progressed so exponentially, like from being just a podcast to having all kinds of interactive art and things going on, to then having guests on the show, to then having video, and it became a Skype call podcast.
I feel like I'm doing a fucking another tribute, right? What the fuck am I doing here? I'm basically saying goodbye, John Rambo. Like, are you shocked that people contacted Rambo and said, "Hey Rambo, you're never making content ever again. I'm sorry to hear you're leaving the internet." Like, what the fuck was I doing?
Podcast where you could see video call and see people live on the show, to having all this video packages and things put into it. And then, of course, John, in 2012, when we were working on our own video series called Project 7, John was inspired creatively to do his own thing called Schnozman and Hole Punch, which is this show that he's been working on for 2 years and finally, reached completion this past week. And it was a lot of effort and work. And I'm going to say this, I am angry because John does not get the viewership he deserves. I love his content. I think that the show, in addition to that Schnozman and Hole Punch, and anything that he puts out on that channel is great. It's gold. It's like, it's not, I would not miss it. I watch everything that he puts out on there just like I would watch every episode of a popular television show, or every episode of, or even following a funny comedian and what work they work on. His quality of stuff is that good. Now, keep in mind, he's an individual. He's independent. He doesn't have studio backing him with millions of dollars so he can have crazy special effects and all that. He learned everything on the fly, and he does it himself. And the thing that pisses me off is if you consistently look at John's content over the past several years, the stuff that he puts out on YouTube, it's gotten exponentially better, and his views have gotten exponentially worse. When he started with the show, which was just an audio podcast, that thing was getting tens of thousands of views. Now he struggles to even get a couple thousand views on his podcast.
Why would I say this, right? I'm burying him. I'm basically saying he's unsuccessful. This is the same shit that Review Tech USA ended up doing to me eventually on his channel. And I was like, dude, don't you understand, even if it's well-intentioned, that this just hurts things? It makes people talk shit and have drama.
Podcast. I don't know why. Nothing's changed. The quality has gone up, not down, yet somehow the interest has waned. And a lot of people say to me, Phil, your content, well, you know, you can say 100 things about me. That I'm an asshole, I'm a hypocrite, people hate me.
Oh, I'll say that. It's right there.
There's a slander campaign against me and yada, 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 yeah. My views have gone down, but not to the point where it's like I get 10% of what I used to. And John, unfortunately, that's what's happened to him. It's bullshit. What the hell happened over there? I have no idea. I've never seen anything where he attacked a fan or there was an argument or he did something wrong. It just seems for whatever reason people gravitated away from his YouTube channel. And over the years, he's put so much work into the stuff that he's done. I know for a fact that he put a good 6 fucking months of work into the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch. And right now, you go over there, and of course, was he expecting a ton of views? No. What I would say is it's a success in regards to the people that watched it, loved it. So if a couple thousand people watch it and love it, I guess, you know, mission accomplished. But I know for a fact that's his heart, soul, money, and time that was invested in that thing. And he even knew so much so that it was, at this point, just for the artistic vision and not for the fact that he was going to get anything monetarily out of it. He didn't even monetize the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch. So he knew from the get-go that the series over 2 years had declined in viewership so much that it wasn't going to be getting anything significant. And he didn't even bother putting ads on it because he didn't want the artistic vision ruined by ads fucking popping up all over his work.
This is basically the nicest drag ever. I'm dragging him through dirt, mud, shit, feces, but I'm being nice about it. I'm still dragging him, though.
So, John is a hard worker. John is a dependable person. And I really feel that, I don't know from what the cause was, that all of a sudden his viewership, you know, declined like it did over the past couple of years. And I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. And I feel bad when I get a text like that basically he's saying he's giving up on YouTube. Except for, I know he's going to continue to do his podcast, the show, but basically that he doesn't want to do anything on YouTube. He has to focus on real-life work to save up money and be able to move. That pisses me off. I hate that because that means that's a creative vision that's been crushed. You know, here's someone who's a very creative person who I know if he had the means to do it, that he could make epic series for the internet, and he can't do it now. He has to go focus on 9-to-5 job because he needs to save up his money. And it's so disappointing, especially because I'm such a good friend of his, that is the situation. And all I can say is that, you know, from my standpoint and my perspective, work-wise, is it a disappointment that John's not going to be in my content anymore, or at least for the foreseeable future? Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm an adult, and I realize that this is John's life, and it's serious business, and that if that's his decision, I absolutely 1,000,000% respect it, and I say good luck to him, and I hope that, you know, he has massive success with whatever he's doing, so that he can actually, you know, start making some money, because YouTube didn't pan out, and that he can do stuff, you know, in his life to improve his life situation. I am the exception to the rule. I am the lucky one. I am the one out of the million who tried to make it big on YouTube. I take that back. I didn't try to make it big on YouTube. I just tried to get anything going on YouTube that could possibly work. As a hobby, it blew up, and because it blew up at one time and I was the popular thing, I'm able to make a living doing it today. Even though I'm not the popular thing anymore, I still have enough that I can make a living. But I'm the exception. Right? I'm the lucky one. And it sucks that someone like John, who has all that creativity, it didn't work out for him, and it's bullshit. And I hate a world where that's not fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It's not fucking fair. And I can understand there's a lot of people that are frustrated, that just like John, who you have creative talent and you can't make it big on YouTube. And I understand, because it's bullshit. It's not fair. It's kind of like perfect timing. You know what I mean? And it's perfect timing and luck of the draw, and I was the lucky one, and millions of people are not. And that's very frustrating to me because, as you know, John was an integral part of my work. John is my friend. I loved having work and friendship involved because it really was a great thing. But I knew when I was making this move to Washington that it had to be done. It was going to be a massive positive. So far, there has been a massive positive. And if anything, the one major negative right now is that, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do stuff with John. From time to time, I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to try to give him a call in the next couple of days. Hopefully, we can catch up, find out what the heck's going on with him. And
this was the situation where I basically realized I just can't call a guy. I never had free time except nights, late nights. You know, he'd be like, "Oh, just call me at night." I'm always streaming. Couldn't not be streaming because I had to pay the bills. You know, I put myself in that situation. It's my fault. But even I say it in a video and then I didn't do it because I couldn't because I was stupid.
You know, if you want to keep in touch with John, definitely check out his YouTube channel, John Rambo Presents. Where he's going to be uploading weekly. His podcast and all that stuff is going to be continuing on over there. And I hope, again, I wish him the best, and I hope that stuff works out for him. And I'm going to be keeping in touch with him privately offline. I know this is a huge change for everybody because we were all expecting, you know, this wasn't something that John and I discussed before. It was a completely different story, and apparently there was this epiphany in the past 2 months where he just realized that he can't do YouTube stuff anymore. You know, that's life. It is what it is. So, you know, I just got to move ahead, and no hard feelings whatsoever to anybody. Seriously, how could I possibly have hard feelings for a guy who supported me, who was there for me, who we had a working friendship and a great business relationship for several years, and it was only that I chose to actively move? How could I be upset that he is moving on and doesn't want to be involved with that YouTube-related content anymore? I mean, I would be such an incredible egomaniac, selfish asshole. You know what I mean? And I'm not. You know, like I said, I love the guy. I wish him the best, and I hope that stuff works out for him. So there you go. You know what I mean? There you go. That's the definitive answer. And if anything changes, like he said, count me out for now. He didn't say count me out forever. There's a possibility that maybe in the future there'll be big stuff coming up. Maybe, you know, John's in a better situation in a year's time, and he wants to do a big playthrough with me, or he wants to come back and do Smart Guys. Great. But I'm not going to push the issue. I'm not going to harass the poor guy and say, oh, you're going to be my content, you're going to be my content. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And when John, you know, makes a decision that maybe he wants to come back, he can. Now, unfortunately, what this means is what's going to happen to Smart Guys, right? Because this is what everyone... Phil, when's the next Smart Guys? I don't know now because Smart Guys integrally... From day one, it was me and John, right? And we worked well off of each other. I had one perspective, he had another. A lot of times we had varying perspectives. We had different opinions on what was going on. And it was good the way that we played off of each other in that show. And would it even be worth it to continue that show when it's only one person? You know what I mean? Now, there is obviously a possibility to continue the show and maybe find people who are interested in pro wrestling who want to give their takes on what's been going on. We can maybe have special guests that we rotate through, but I don't want to do that without having input from people who have been fans of Smart Guys for years. I would be an asshole to say, oh, I'm just going to change it, fuck it. I want to hear everyone's feedback. What do you think? Would it be better as a show that I continue by myself? Would it be better as a show where I have guests who maybe are rotating co-hosts on the show? Would it be better if maybe I tried to find one person who could be a co-host permanently? Or is that it? Should I just retire the show completely and just continue on? As you guys know, for the past 2 months, on Saturdays, I'm just doing one gameplay streams. Should I just do that instead? So I would definitely like to hear your opinions on all that stuff. Whether it's on Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, whether it's in the comments of this video, please go ahead and submit me all that and let me know. I will mull it over. I'm not going to promise anyone Smart Guys is returning soon because I want to think about it for a while. And in particular, with this hardcore gaming season coming up, I may be so inundated with stuff anyway. Maybe this was the right time for this to happen. But I'd like to hear your opinion and feedback, okay?
So I canceled it because ultimately I felt that the show had no purpose without John. That show was not just me, it was me and John. Without John, it wasn't Smart Guys anymore. I dabbled with the idea that maybe I would just do a new show. I just ended it. And, you know, at that point, I didn't have any more pressure to really watch pro wrestling, but I did. I continued to watch it for several years, but yeah. I mean, is there anything defensible in that? I mean, I could have literally said, hey guys, so I heard from John, and we're not going to be doing anything for a while, if ever. I'll let you know if it ever changes. None of your business. Why? It's none of your business. Seriously. But back then, again, I was so Mr. Transparent. I got to share everything with everyone. I got to document everything. Keep in mind, I was filming all over my house. I was filming all over everywhere I went. I was an idiot. Now, that's completely different. Like today, I would just say, oh, fuck off. None of your business, man. Stop getting in our business. You know? Do I want to do content with John? Yes, but we're not. Too bad. I'll let you know if and when we are and deal with it. Right? But I wasn't like that back then. I didn't have boundaries. So John texts me saying personal shit. I read it like an asshole. And then I bury him for like 40 minutes. I bury the guy. Oh, his content's good, but no one watches it. It's a shame. I mean, in one way, I'm alluding basically it's the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm used to pick up content and push it, and it would be popular. And then the YouTube algorithm changed, and just like my channel, his channel had been suffering too. But I don't have to say any of that. Again, you have to understand that when you're going to say negative shit about someone or something, it's going to just be tossed at them. And that's exactly what Review Tech did to me. For years, he would make videos. Oh, DSP Gaming is failing. Look, the views are going down. Phil has to make drastic action now or he'll go out of business. I was like, dude, Rich, why'd you make that fucking video? Don't you understand that when you make that video, people now will come and laugh at me and deride me and do nasty things towards me and say, oh, what did you do? You know, I didn't understand that back then because I was a fucking idiot. Now I get it, but this is like, you know, 7 years later, 8 years later. Older and wiser now, but back then, that was the dumbest thing I could have possibly done in the situation. I was completely in the wrong.
Every reason. He goes on to give me a bunch of compliments and then kind of buries me after that, which is a weird mixture of
I did bury.
To do sometimes.
It was a happy burial.
It's like it's okay if I speak negatively because I complimented you first.
It was like you're great, okay, right? But you're still failing.
Yeah, exactly.
He does the same thing where he goes, "I'm going to be honest with everyone," you know, that usual spiel. He talks about how John's giving up on YouTube. He doesn't want to do stuff on YouTube anymore. He kind of implies like I'm upset about views. I'm not getting enough credit or views or money, and you know, very far from my feelings on things.
That's awesome.
I don't think I ever. It's very hard to make the argument that I tried to make a living on YouTube or I tried to make money on YouTube. Okay, the stuff I put out is not going to reach a lot of people. It's not really possible. You know, it's a two-hour podcast, which is weird. It's a web series that's weird. It's very different than taking a video game that millions of people know about. It's advertised and doing a playthrough. You know, people could find you in a search. And like for my stuff, I know what the ceiling is. Like the first Shazman Hole Punch episode, however, is like 20,000 views. Yeah. That's my ceiling. It's not 200,000, 2 million, 20,000. I then spent the next 3 years making more of those, knowing what that ceiling is. There's never a goal to get fame or money. It's like, this is what I like to do. This is what I want to make, you know. The show, we've done, you know, almost 200 episodes. We know what the ceiling is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get all these messages from people saying, you know, I always liked your content. Sorry to hear you're leaving. You know.
Wow.
In the same video, he talks about how he's the exception. You know, I'm the one in the million. That can do this. That could make it. Well, congratulations, man. You know. Again, we don't make the same type of content. And he refers to himself as the realest motherfucker on the internet.
Stupidest motherfucker on the internet.
Spewing, misinformation. When he could have just called. And by the way, Howie.
Yep.
He has never actually called me to this day, which is 15 months later. Well, maybe 13 months. He's never actually called.
Yeah.
And in this video, he said, "I'm going to call him." He's never actually called me.
Yeah. Now do you want I don't know. I just why don't you roll into the next bit?
All right, hold on. So,
yeah.
I feel like as a friend you would call and you say, you know, what's going on? Is there something I could do to help you out? Which is what you did. We would talk, right?
Yeah.
And you would check in once in a while. And
I call John maybe once a week just to see how he's doing.
And I would tell you, like, yeah, this is what's going on, and you know,
yeah.
It's not that you could fix the situation. I'm not looking for someone to be like, I'm going to fix your problems. It's, you know, talking it out, right? Let you know I support you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's that, and I want to talk about this. He'll often say, "I'm the realist. I'm the most, here's honestly this. Here's the truth of the matter." When people do that, they're usually doing it for a reason. It's usually because they're not telling the truth.
That's false. For me, I have a lot of mannerisms and things that I say in my dialect, talking to people on the internet every single day, all day long for 14 years. When I say, the truth of the matter, or the bottom line is, or I'll be honest with you right now, what I'm doing is trying to emphasize that what I'm about to say has weight or importance. Okay? Maybe I'm dicking around right before that, making a joke, cracking, making a stupid comment, laughing, being silly. But I'm trying to tell you, okay, the silliness is over. I'm about to talk about something that's kind of important, so listen up. That's what I mean when I say that. And it's a quick way to say that without having to say, oh, by the way, guys, I'm about to drop all the levity and serious to be serious right now, so listen up. I just say, hey, the truth of the matter is, or hey, here's what's important. Listen, but he is taking it like every time I say that it's something a lie. That's ridiculous. That's again negativity, toxicity that's seeped into his opinion of me, thinking that because I say those things all the time in my dialect, it means that I'm always lying. Couldn't be further from the truth, but he feels that way at this point. You see? So I have no defense at all. I never should have read the text. I never should have made basically a burial segment in that podcast about I love his content, but it doesn't get attention. I did make it sound like he was retiring from the internet, although oddly enough, I say he's still doing his own show. So how is he retiring from the internet if he's still doing his own show? I don't make sense. I'm listening back to myself, and I don't make sense in that clip. It's a very, very bad clip. That's why I put asshole over it, because that's probably, out of all the things I did in this video, probably the worst thing. Okay.
If every time you spoke and you go, here's the honest truth of it. Let me be honest with you for a second. I'm the most honest. I'm the realist. That's a warning sign.
Yeah, big one.
Because why you feel the need to say that?
Because I'm joking half the time when I'm talking with you guys. I'm trying to make levity on my streams. I want you to know that I'm saying something that I feel is important or truthful at that point. I'm not being a dick or a jokester, teasing anyone or, making a dumb comment about a game. It's something important. That's why I do that, to break it up. It's not like in the middle of a conversation I would just say that.
Thanksgiving video, he talks about, I have no idea what I did wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. If you go to that video from August where he's reading my text, there's random people in the comments, man, and on Twitter and whatnot, that don't know Phil personally, don't know me personally. Well before there's a problem, that there's an obvious problem between us publicly. There's people that are saying, maybe you shouldn't read someone's text out loud like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's
amongst other comments like, you're a piece of shit. You ruined your own life and John Rambo's, a million other insulting things. And you can only, at that point, take comments seriously to a certain extent. I'm not saying the comments weren't correct. They were, but I wasn't actively reading my comments for anything of any intelligence. It was basically a lot of toxicity and trolling there. I didn't really pay attention.
People that will watch and immediately go, why are you reading someone's text out loud? Obviously, it's a private message. Why are you doing that? But here we are all these months later, and he still has no idea. But random people can figure it out immediately after watching the video.
Yep.
So, that was pretty much it. That kind of broke the back right there, man, because, again, you had to pull the stuff in the past, which many times saying things publicly that's saying things publicly about me that's not true, and then saying please don't do that. And here we go, like the biggest infraction of all, in my opinion. It's a big thing for me.
See you later, Mace. Mace was a longtime fan watching this all day. He has to go. We're in the home stretch. I'm done within less than 20 minutes. We'll be done.
I mean, trust, because how do you really be friends with someone if you can't trust them? How do you tell them things? Part of a friendship is kind of like the intimacy of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You share things about your feelings or family or whatever. Hell, that's kind of, it's gone right there, man. So I don't respond to it. I don't say anything publicly. My reaction's basically like, all right, he said he's going to call me. In that video, he actually says he's going to call me. Let's see if he calls.
Again, I could not call, and that's my fault. My lifestyle was wake up, record, broadcast, upload, record, broadcast. Oh, I have free time at 10 at night, which is 1 a.m. his time. So I can't call him. I texted, and he didn't like the texts. He wanted a personal call. I did not give him a personal call. I just texted, and he didn't like that and ignored my texts.
So, in the interim, I'm going to roll into this one. In the interim, in the middle of this, he starts sending text messages. First, he starts with John, starts sending John these text messages, like in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. So now, when you do the math...
This is 2015 now. This is much later, and again, this is why the timeline is skewed. He makes it sound like, oh, this is happening right now in 2014. Nope. This is 2015. 2015 was the worst year of my life at this point, besides maybe late 2000s when I was feeling almost suicidal. Everything was falling apart at the seams. My channel was being insanely destroyed by trolls and fake copyright strikes. I was being DDoSed. I got swatted. My personal life was falling apart here with my significant other. I was feeling awful. And this would have absolutely been a time in my life when I absolutely would have loved to have some friends to talk about it. But I had now been ghosted by John Rambo. Not Howard, because I didn't talk to Howard. But I'd been ghosted by John Rambo ever since that late 2014 situation. I had not heard from him since then. I did try from time to time to reach out to him and say, hey, I hope you're doing well, this and that. And he just completely ignored me outright. Okay? So, what they're about to reveal is truthful information. I'll explain what's going on for the first time after they are done talking about it.
Right? John starts getting text messages at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. That means it's like 2 o'clock in the morning there. So now, when you start reading them, you start looking at it, and it doesn't make any sense why he's even texting. And it's not even coherent. So you start wondering if the guy was, like, if he's been drinking and texting.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird. So basically I call John up, and John goes, yeah, he's texting me. It's really weird, and he keeps texting me, and I'm not responding back, and and like when he texts, like he's sending these messages, like he does feel sorry on one end, but and then he says something that like later that contradicts it completely. So
I don't know what happened there.
You just get to the point where like this is not good to have in my life.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it's
good
sad
to
because
have. Yeah,
it doesn't mean you hate the person. It doesn't mean that you wish them ill. It's like you hope they could fix whatever they got going on.
Yeah,
but they're just doing too much damage to you and themselves.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you're like,
that's what it's like.
There's no consistency there's no rhyme or reason, no consistency to what he does. So and then John goes like, just get ready because you're probably going to get a text message. So a few weeks ago, what does he do? He texts me. Yeah. And it's weird because he starts off with like, hey,
so I heard you hate me now or something.
Yeah,
like, based on what?
Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. I hear you and John both hate me now. Yeah. No one. I haven't talked to this guy in like. Is
there someone telling him the wrong things? I don't know. Maybe there is.
Yes. All right, you ready for the explanation? It's not good. It's terrible. I was depressed as shit that year. Everything was falling apart around me. I was actually afraid I was going to lose everything. I thought that my YouTube channel was going to basically be shut down, or I was going to have such a loss of monetization on my YouTube channel that I was going to not be able to pay for anything. I was not going to be able to pay for my home. I was not going to be able to pay for anything at all. And like I said, at the very same time, with all the horrible things that were happening to me that year, my personal relationship also had fallen apart at the seams. And late 2015 into, say, the first half of 2016 was a very tumultuous time with so much shit going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't even know about. We're not going to get into that. Some of that is addressed in the Down the Rabbit Hole react that I've already done. But essentially, I was really, really, really fucked up in the head at this point. I was heavily drinking all the time at night. I would basically do a full day of content on the internet for you guys, and then I would drink myself to sleep because I was fucked up. I was depressed as shit. I didn't think there was any way I was going to get out of it. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing for a job anymore. I was jaded. I hated everything around me, essentially, at that point. And then, yeah, some late nights, I'm not kidding. I know this sounds fucking pathetic as shit, because it is. There were some late nights when I would get drunk and I would start reminiscing about the past. I would start reminiscing about the times when I would do co-op with John, or we would do Smart Guys. And so I would actually be drinking like crazy and then watch our old content together and be depressed as fuck and fall asleep watching it. Okay? Playthroughs and everything, you know. And then it got to the point where what happens when you're a drunken, depressed idiot mess. I already had done this before in my life. And here I am doing it again in 2015. I start sending out texts and shit at night in the middle of the night when I shouldn't be. Everyone's asleep. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm stupid. I'm sending out these texts. Oh my God, John, I'm so sorry. I hope we can make up. I don't know what happened. If I did anything to fuck over your life or whatever, I hope that you'll forgive me. You know, shit like that. Pathetic shit. It is pathetic. Is it really an attempt for me to reach out to him and mend our relationship? Probably not. It's fucking me being depressed in the booze. It's not genuine. It's fucking me feeling bad. All right? And there's no excuse for it. It's disgusting, actually. I'm actually very upset with myself that I did it. And it happened for a while. It wasn't just like, oh, it happened once or twice. It was like, over a course of months, I know I kept texting John like that sometimes at night. And I know he was very upset. And I was shocked he didn't block my number. Seriously, I'm shocked he didn't like block the shit. How's he putting up with this? And again, he never responded. So it wasn't like, hey, fuckface, stop doing this, you dumbass. Like, what are you doing? I don't fucking want text from you anymore. Stop bothering me. It's just nothing. Silence. And speaking into the void. All right? Which, I don't know how much you guys know this, but when you're depressed and you're not getting any response, it just makes you feel worse. And by the way, this is not blaming them. This is me. This is all on me, not them. This is them 100%. And this eventually led to self-destruction and the culmination of what happened, them making this video, because what they're talking about, when I texted Howard out of nowhere, I didn't text the guy since I fucking moved. So I texted him and said, hey, I heard you guys hate me. Oh, that is true. I did hear that they hated me. So after all this time that this is happening, all right, and I was getting more and more increasingly depressed, as you saw, occasionally I would talk about them in my videos, and I believe it was a stream or something that I had mentioned them. I get an email from someone stating, hey, Phil, just so you know that you're so, you know, upset about Howard and John, not Howard and John, just John not talking to you. So I just want to let you know that I ran into them. I was at a YouTube thing in New York. I think it was one of their studio things. And I guess John and Howard were there together. They were filming. Now, being a fan of you, I walked up to them and I approached them and I wanted to introduce myself and said, hey, I love your stuff. By the way, what's going on with you and Phil? You know, Phil, now for it says like almost, you know, half a year hasn't heard from anyone. What's going on? To which they responded to the person and said, we don't want to associate with Phil anymore. You know, all the shit going on with him, all the drama going on with him. You know, we have some personal issues with him that we don't want to discuss with you, but we want nothing to do with him. So we wish him the best, but we want nothing to do with him. Now, they said as much. In this very video, they actually revealed this, that they had said that to people at events just like this, okay? So one of those people told me that this is what happened. And here I am the whole time. I'm in the dark. They're not, you know, again, John had never responded since like the fall of 2014 in any way, shape, or form, not returning texts or anything. And what I hear is that they hate me now, basically, you know? I heard they hate me now. Wow. That really made me feel good in 2015, right? When I already was at one of my lowest points of my life. I was depressed and drinking. So it just exacerbated the whole situation, okay? So, again, this has nothing to do with them doing anything wrong. You know, they have the right to shut down the friendship. They have the right to not talk to me. 2015 was an awful, awful year for me. And I was a drunken, depressed fucking mess. Now, when you are a depressed mess, I talked about this a bit in of all things, my reaction to the Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole video. That was over a month ago. You can watch that right here on the channel if you'd like. And I talked about when you are depressed, sometimes you do things for no logical reason, only because you know that doing those things will destroy something and feed further into your depression. All right? This has happened to me many times over my life, where I get so depressed about something that I then purposely do things to ruin a friendship, to ruin a relationship even further than it's already been damaged. There's people who, literally out of the blue, I decided I would just not speak to them ever again. This was very early on when I was like in my early 20s. Oh well, I'll never speak to that person ever again. Fuck them. There's people who've been nothing but nice to me in my life, and I shut them out. Okay? And again, this is not me justifying it. It's wrong to do this. But I've done it many times in my life. Whenever I feel depressed, this seems to happen. It's a running pattern with me and alcohol. Okay, I get very bad when I get depressed and drunk. I do stupid shit. Okay, so all that being said, I was at a point in 2015 where I was at such a low, I was at that point. And so I decided, since these guys are not going to talk to me, I've now found out that they hate my guts from someone who has talked to them in person, and they have not told me this up front. I will force them to. And then at least we will have closure, right? So I forced their hand. I started talking about them in videos. There was the Thanksgiving Ask the King, where someone directly asked. That was the very beginning of this whole event, where I came out, said what I said on purpose. It was a calculated move to force them to react. But I was thinking they would react to me and say, hey, Phil, in private, shut the fuck up. We had enough of your shit. We don't want to be friends with you. We've moved on. Leave us alone. I fully expected that's what was going to happen. I thought maybe on a shocking whim, perhaps they would say, oh, well, we're sorry about all this. Let's work it out. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be the former. It was going to be destroy everything. Burn it all down. That's what depression does, man. It makes you want to destroy it all. And then say, fuck it all. I don't care after the fact that everything's destroyed. I was already feeling like shit. Why not just destroy everything around me too? Right? So that's why I acted like that. And it's incredibly embarrassing. It was all public too. It wasn't even like, oh, you know, this is public shit I was saying on my podcast, public shit that I was saying in my videos. And then behind the scenes, I'm drunk texting these guys. Shit. And I know they didn't believe me. I'm not stupid. But, you know, it was out of control. Okay? All right.
I haven't talked to this guy since he left. The day that he left. That was the last time I talked to him.
Yeah, it was rewinding a bit. So after he does the video with the text message and all that, he did a pre-stream like the following weekend where he says like stuff with John had kind of become stale anyway. It was basically an attempt to be like, the entire thing was basically like to write me out, you know?
Yep.
For no reason, because like if you just called, I would have told him, "Hey man, give me like a month or two." But it was an attempt to kind of write like we don't need John anymore. He's a fucking loser. He's got all problems, and you know we don't need him. We're gonna keep going with watch my stuff. Got very defensive, like almost like I was doing something wrong to him, when I really wasn't.
Yeah,
I did not wrong him by
no. He wasn't doing anything wrong in regards to he didn't want to be in my content. He was doing the right thing for himself. I just wish that he would have said it instead of saying I'm going to be in your content. It's coming. No, really, it's going to happen. And he kept leading me on. It's kind of like the same deal with Howard before I left Connecticut. He would say, "Oh, I'm gonna be at your event. No, I'm gonna be at your event. No, I'm gonna be at your event. Within 24 hours of the event, I'm canceling. My girl says we're busy." Like what? And I felt like that's essentially John was now pulling a Howard on me. He had become that thing that he and I had talked about that was bad in the past. You know? I wish he did that differently. I wish he at least would have been honest with me. All right? And I don't feel like he was being honest or transparent with me at the time. I feel like he just didn't want to be in my stuff. Yes, there was personal shit going on in his life, but also now we know there was this stuff going on back in Connecticut. People didn't like me. There was poison there. You know, being spread around about me, about completely unrelated issues. And definitely, all that being said, this is a situation that I wish went down completely differently, and it didn't. You know, I don't know what I can do about it now, but it's done. You know, he's right in saying he didn't do anything wrong in regards to not wanting to be in my content. I just wish that he had been completely transparent with me about it, and it probably would have avoided a lot of these issues. But the issues were created by me after the fact.
By not being able to do his content. There's a video, man, that somebody sent to me, okay? Which was taken from one of his streams, dude. So, he basically was talking about me around this time period, maybe it was like August or September, and he's going off about how John lives with his parents. John lives in the middle of nowhere. He's got all these problems. And as usual, yeah, it was like what I was saying. Like, we don't need that fucking loser around here, you know. He didn't specifically say the loser part, but he did say the other stuff.
I didn't say anything like that at
but
all.
Here's the thing: he doesn't know anything about my house, who I live with. He has never been to my home. He's never expressed interest in doing that. He doesn't really know who's in my life or anything about the situation. And you guys saying things like that on a public stream. Yeah. Someone that's supposed to be your friend. So I contact him after this, immediately after, sent him a text message, because he wants to say that no one ever...
Yeah, the timeline is skewed. I can't remember exactly when this was, but this was definitely in that time frame of me doing fucked up stuff on my streams in regards to Rambo, because he wasn't really giving me transparent information or responding that much. Again, it was me trying to justify a reason why he's not going to be in my content. Well, he's got personal issues at home. He's got to handle those. This whole YouTube thing isn't his focus. But why am I saying shit like that? Even if it was true or not. Because I'll be honest with you now. Oh, I said it. I'll be honest with you. So that means obviously that I'm lying now. No, from my recollection, that was factual information, the shit that I said. From my recollection, we had behind-the-scenes conversations like that, and I was revealing that information to the public, which I shouldn't have done. He's saying, oh, we never even talked about that. He's making it up. I swear we did talk about that via text, okay? I wouldn't just pull something out of my butt like that out of nowhere. In regards to, no, I've never been to his house, but he told me all about it in the past. I knew what area of New York he lived in. I knew about who he was living with, and all of that, because we talked about it. So it's funny because he's basically saying here, oh, he didn't know anything about that. Maybe it really was true, and he's trying to like defend himself here to say, oh, it wasn't real because he's afraid of doxing and shit. I don't know, but the shit I said back then, to the best of my knowledge, was truthful. It was just wrong to say it, completely wrong to say it. He's sharing personal information about me. Why the fuck am I reading that and talking about that on my streams? Again, the timeline's fucked because I think this already had happened previous to the Thanksgiving thing, but now he's bringing this up again.
Never expressed any problems, or I don't ever heard of any problems of John having with me. So I sent him a text to say, I caught wind that you're saying very private things. By the way, not true things, lies about me. In one of your streams, I expect that you will not be posting that to YouTube. I hope that you will not be uploading that to YouTube. So he didn't respond, and I do not believe that he did. I don't think he did actually post it. It was one of those like pre-stream things. But again, it's like, what is going on here, man?
Yeah.
The next time I hear from he asks, would you like to be on Hate Live? Which I tell him I can't do. He gets kind of frustrated about it, and I kind of listen, man, I'm doing my own show this week. Like, I'm not available to do that. It's basically like every interaction has to eventually do with videos and stuff, man. He talked about the Thanksgiving video. He talks about, like, we were talking about shows and stuff. There'll be a message like, hey, you're watching Gotham. And I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty decent. And then it'll just immediately turn into, yeah, let's record this weekend.
See, and he felt that way, but that's not what was happening. I was trying to reach out to him and be a friend and talk via text. I couldn't call him. I just couldn't. I didn't have the time until super late at night to be doing that kind of stuff. But I know I was watching a show. We both like comics. Let's talk about Gotham. We talked back and forth about it, for a bit. Things we liked, things we didn't like. And I say, oh, by the way, any chance that we're going to do anything soon? Because I'd like to actually, again, my frame of mind, because I'd like to actually talk with you, on a time that I can take out of a day, make work out of it, so I can have time to talk with you beforehand. This is, again, what we used to do when he would come on Saturdays for co-op. The first hour or two of us doing it wasn't doing it. It was just talking about fun stuff, having our friendly interactions. Then we would turn on the cameras and start recording the content. I wanted that back. He just wanted me to call him outside of all of that stuff. Okay? Again, workaholic. Bad way to go about having friends when all you're doing is work, and all your interactions with them is work, right? And it's easy to say, well, Phil, you could have just dropped everything and called him. I mean, you're right. I could have. Absolutely. You're right. But at that point in my life, I was separated from that life. I had a new life here in Washington State. I was fully focused on the things going on here, which weren't great in 2015 and 2014. They were much better. But you're right. The excuse here, the only excuse that I can make is not really excuse. Explanation is when you're separated physically from the person. All right, it's not out of sight, out of mind, because I still remembered him. I wanted to do stuff with him. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to hang out with him. I wanted to make content with him over the internet. But it wasn't as easy as, okay, my Saturday is that he's driving over, we do it. It was, man. So now we got to try to like schedule in when we can both do it over the internet. It makes it more complicated. My schedule already, I'm working all day, every day, and just barely making enough money to make ends meet at that point. And because I got myself into so much debt and shit. So it was like, I could take time out and call him and have a conversation on the phone. But I don't know if it's necessarily going to lead to anything better in the friendship. I don't even have time for the friendship. I wanted to have the work happen so I could cut the time out of the work to have the friendship continue. I know this is completely wrong. Everyone's probably like, what the fuck? You call your friends. You hang out with your friends. That's not how it was. In my mind, it was, oh, work. So have the scheduled work and cut out a section of the work to be friends and then do the work after. That's how it always was. And it's fucked up. Completely fucked up. Especially because, again, before I became a full-time YouTuber who monetized my videos, I did spend time with John. We went to tournaments. We did all kinds of fun stuff together that had nothing to do with making videos for YouTube. And that went away when I became a full-time YouTuber. My fault. He's right. 100% here.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you thinking, man? I'll admit there's many texts he sends which I just don't respond to because how do you trust it, man?
Yeah.
How do you trust this isn't going to become something that's I got to talk about in a video now?
Yeah,
See,
pretty
John's
much.
talking to me all the time.
And that's one. And that's one of the reasons why I was reluctant to why I didn't reply to that text message, because I looked at it and said, well, if John went through this nonsense with him going ahead and posting these text messages on or reading these things on his vlogs, then what's it going to keep him from doing it with me?
Or if you respond, it becomes like, oh, Howard's talking to me. What the fuck, John's?
Yeah. So why even put myself in that predicament? That's why I didn't even bother texting him back. I just left it like that. But and then, like I said, he writes these text messages, sends text messages to John, then sends me a text message, and then what does he do right after? He goes ahead, he posts a video.
Yeah, this was maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and then what does he do?
Started this whole
week,
thing.
He goes and,
that was the first thing they addressed.
And posts this video on Thanksgiving.
So yeah, 2 weeks ago we both got texts like the middle of the freaking night while we're
middle of the night. I got this text message. It was like 4:30 it was 5:30 in the morning. So that was I think it was like 3 in the morning over there, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I talk to John and I said, I really think he's drinking.
He basically these texts. I'm not going to go word for word because that's what happened to me. I'm not going to do that, but he basically expressed that he wants to kind of work things out.
Yeah.
But he really doesn't, because you saw what he did on Thanksgiving. So it was basically like an ultimatum kind of thing. Like, if you don't fucking talk to me, respond to me right now, then I'm going to go publicly and try to fuck you.
I mean, it wasn't trying to fuck you. It was he's right. It was basically like, you've been ghosting me for a year. I'm depressed as fuck. I want to destroy everything around me. I want an answer. Is anything ever going to change? Or is it always just going to be, you ghost me forever? And it worked. Destroyed everything. It worked, man. It destroyed absolutely positively everything about this relationship. There was no way, after they made this video, that this was going to continue, which is odd because we're at the end of the video, and wait till you hear how they end it. It's baffling to me, so let's finish this.
Publicly.
Yeah.
So you're not really apologetic if you're doing that. You're not really trying to make things right, and you're really not hurt by the situation. Okay? And like if you and I had a problem, Howie, which you never know.
I know, right?
And I felt really bad that you're not speaking to me, I'm probably not going to make the things worse.
No,
By saying shit like whatever he said, the insults that he said in a public video.
Yeah, and
it's almost like he's always got to try to save face. I'm the winner. There's no winner in this situation, man.
No, and I didn't think there was going to be a winner. Again, they are off base here. There's no winner here. I wasn't trying to be, I'm the guy that is the winner here. I knew there was going to be a culmination and an explosion. I thought it was going to be they contact me behind the scenes and say, fuck off, never again, stop contacting us, block, block, block. Or, wow, all right, let's finally hash it out. We ignore, John, I thought it was going to be John saying, I ignored you for a year, but let's figure it out. One or the other. I thought it was going to be the former. I thought it was going to be fuck you, block, block, block. I had no idea they were going to make a public video like this at all. Because again, 90% of the shit in this video, it's the first time I'm hearing it. I didn't know there was a resentment about Project 7. I didn't know there was resentment about all these things that had happened over the years. It's first time hearing it. And it blew my mind and made me, feel like shit. But we'll talk about this in a second.
To address
the end here. Let's finish this.
Personally versus doing it the way he does. And personally, I'll be completely honest with you, John. I really think that he watches too much WWE. Because it feels like I'm not lying, dude. It feels like it really feels like he tries to make his channel like that, where it's full of drama. It's all drama, just to try to create controversy.
My channel is all drama. Has he ever even watched the fucking channel? I played video games constantly. The vlogging was the rare shit. He's acting like I'm Keemstar. Like, what is he talking about here? It doesn't even make any sense at all what he's saying. It's completely nonsensical stuff.
So that he can get more views.
Yeah, and we're feeding into it right now.
Create controversy
and
to get views.
Oh,
that's me.
Like I said, he's still finding ways to monetize us after this time, but
yeah.
Let's bring up that. So WWE smart guys, man. People often ask him like, "Are you doing smart guys?" And he'll just throw me under the bus. Like, it's up to John. It's 100% on him if we'll do it. I got some text from him from last summer where he's basically like, let me know when you want to do smart guys so I'll start watching wrestling again. So what that says to me is like, you're not really a fan of it. You don't really watch it. You will watch it if you could make a video about it, and you're going to make a video about it because you want to monetize a video.
So at this point, when you get to this, you're at the end of it now, and you're like, so everything now is evil. I mean, everything I do is wrong. Everything's evil, right? There's no jokes anymore. Again, this is the well's been poisoned. So anything Phil does is the mindset. He's only in it for the money. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. Everything is evil. Everything is bad. So there's a running joke that we used to make when we did Smart Guys that wrestling sucks. Like most pro wrestling was bad. I mean, there's a few rare times when the CM Punk plotline happened and we liked that. But in general, that the wrestling was quite bad. It wasn't as good as the stuff that used to be on TV. It's a running joke that, it's bad. Okay? Now, when he contacts me about, or when we're talking about this, it's a joke. Oh, I'll start watching wrestling again once, we're going to do the show. I just moved, all right? I hadn't been actively watching wrestling because I hadn't been actively doing anything and fallen back into my habits, all right? But I was still following it. I still knew what was going on in wrestling. I was, reading stuff online, social media and the like. And I was eventually going to get back into it. I feel, hey, a great way to get full-fledged back into it after not being, attached to it for a couple months would be for the show. But it was a joke. Oh, I'm not watching it. Yeah, we'll watch it again when we're going to make the show. It's a joke, it sucks or whatever. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth. Allow me to flip this a little bit. I don't really like doing this, but this is, at this point, John, I think at the end of the video here, he just starts throwing Hail Marys. What's the last few things I could say bad about Phil? All right? During the course that we were making Smart Guys, all right, I was watching everything. I was watching every program on WWE, including Raw, SmackDown, and other formative shows that were coming out at that time. Plus, Impact Wrestling. Every week I was watching Impact Wrestling. John didn't like 90% of the wrestling. So every once in a while, he'd watch a Ring of Honor show and bring that to the table. But for the most part, he would come in, and after maybe just a few months of doing the show, expressed to me that he didn't like the wrestling stuff anymore. He wanted to keep doing the show and talk about it. But he said, so just so you know, I'm going to come in, and I'm not going to know anything about the shows because I didn't watch them. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up. I had an iPad at the time. We'll open up your iPad, and we'll use this app to go through the results of the show. So even though I didn't watch any of the wrestling, you can go through it because you watched it. And as you're talking about it, I'll give you what I think about what happened on the show, but I haven't watched it. All right? So kind of funny, you know, the whole time we're doing Smart Guys, arguably half the time, like the second half we were doing the show, he wasn't watching wrestling. He was basically having me talk about what happened, going through results, and giving my opinion on it because I had watched it, and then he would chime in. All right? People didn't know that. He was good at bullshitting, I guess. All right? But here we are, years later, the show's retired, we want to restart it. I make a joking comment, oh, we'll start watching it again now, you know, I haven't watched it in a while, wrestling sucks. Oh, see, Phil only watched wrestling because he would monetize it. Dude, we were making a show together, monetizing it, and you didn't watch it. So what are you talking about? Like, completely hypocritical there. And that irks me because that's a particular situation where I was really carrying the workload for that show, and he was just riding along. And now here it is years later. Oh, what's the last few darts we can throw at Phil at the end? Oh, he made a joke about wrestling. That means he only monetizes wrestling. He doesn't watch it outside of it. Sure. Whatever you say, John.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just really weird, you know. Like I'll start watching when you let me know that we're gonna do the show. Otherwise, I'm not gonna fucking look at it. You know. I don't know. Let's go to Thanksgiving last year, man. I'm just trying. We only got maybe a couple things here left just to get out of here.
There's really nothing left. They're just gonna reiterate
Not
things they've
ruin
already
the
said
entire
at this
day
point,
here.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because life is good, man. If you let life be good, there's a lot of great things you could be doing with yourself.
Oh, exactly.
So, yeah, on the Thanksgiving video that he put out this year, he talks about how last year he was not invited on the Black Friday show that we did for 2014. You know, never mind the fact that OJ wasn't actually there either. Does that mean that, you know, I hate OJ? It was actually just you and I, actually.
Yep.
And he also doesn't bring up the fact that last year on Thanksgiving, is when he decided to unfollow me on Twitter. Which again, like today, you're supposed to be with your family and friends and whatnot.
We've already addressed all of this, but in quick summary, every year he had me on his Thanksgiving show to talk about Black Friday deals, and it was me and first it was me and Howard, then it ended up being OJ some of the years. This particular year, 2014, when I had moved, again, he's not talking to me at all. He's basically ghosting me at this point. He says he's going to be in my content when he's ready. I'm thinking, well, he's doing his content. Maybe he'll want me to be on his show. All I did was send him a text saying, hey, I'm available if you want me to be on the show. That was it. There was no hounding. There was nothing. No pestering or anything like that. And then people asked me after the fact, of course, what are people going to do? Well, Phil, we were watching this Thanksgiving show and you weren't on it. You're always on it. Don't you think that's a bad sign, Phil? And again, it's the trolls. Don't you think that's a bad sign? Don't you think that means that he doesn't like you? You see? And, you know, what they're trying to say, oh, no big deal. Well, if that's no big deal, then me unfollowing you on Twitter should also be no big deal, right? If you always have me on a show, you actively don't ask me to be on a show for the first time in many years, all right? And that doesn't mean anything. Then it doesn't mean anything if I'm casually unfollowing you on Twitter. If my trolls contact me and say, ha, you weren't on Rambo show because he hates you, then you should also ignore when they say, ha, Phil unfollowed you on Twitter. It goes both ways. But this entire video is, oh, everything Phil does is wrong, right? But when we have the same reactions to stupid, arbitrary bullshit that shouldn't matter and trolls contact us, it's awful for us, you see? And again, that's my fault because I am the one who has the internet following, makes a living. It's those trolls that are doing the same thing to both of us. They would never have been trolled if they were never involved with my content to begin with.
And causes me to get a bunch of shitty messages, just like this year. It causes you to get a bunch of shitty messages and cause problems, you know, and drama that you don't need, man, that you're not looking for and don't deserve, really. So there's something out there where people will be like, people are saying John unfollowed Phil on YouTube, but the fact of the matter is I never actually followed him in the first place, so I didn't unfollow him. I also didn't follow OJ and Howard. I didn't follow any of you guys on YouTube. You know, so I didn't actually follow him and then consciously unfollow him. That's like very fourth grade nonsense, which he has done. He doesn't follow. I still follow him on Twitter actually because I'm not going to go through the trouble of unfollowing someone like him.
The trouble of following and unfollowing someone on Twitter. The fact that this has any bearing on anyone's life is preposterous to me. It's stupid. If someone why did you unfollow? Fuck you. Why are you even asking me? Go get the hell out of here, you fucking idiot. Just that's crazy to me that this was an issue to them.
3rd grade. But he has unfollowed all of us in all things.
Yeah.
Okay.
He like I said, he threw the first stone. So now he's wondering why we don't talk to him. And then, when you start looking at some of the underlying issues, you'll realize why.
It's a freaking circus, man.
It's a circus.
He's doing the Patreon. We talked about the shirts.
Yep.
Since we're just kind of emptying the barrel here.
Empty the barrel.
Yeah.
It's already a 2 hour, half hour and a half
couple months
video.
ago.
Keep going.
Maybe it was September or August of 2015 this year. He put out a montage of a co-op playthrough that we did and put ads on there.
Hello again, everyone. Darkside Phil here, and welcome to the best and worst of DSP classics, where we turn back the clock and take another look at some of the most classic, old, funny, and weird playthroughs that I've done in my years on YouTube. The patrons have spoken, and this time we'll be checking out a little game called TV Superstars.
And it's pretty obvious that I don't want to do anything with you or be associated with you. And then just let me put out a video that's got John in it, so I could put ads on it.
Wow.
And why would you? Well, I can see why you would do it, but again, there's obviously some problems with the relationship. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Wow.
On top of other nonsense, man.
Wow. I mean, do I really have to address it? Should I address that? Is there a point? I mean, we already talked about all of our arrangements over the years. He got paid for that work at the time, very generously for it. Okay? There were never residual agreements. There never will be residual agreements. I can't even figure out residuals. To this day, I can't figure out residuals on that stuff. It's my content. I own it. I have the right to use that forever in perpetuity. I own the rights to the video. Is it in good taste? Well, if I was doing a whole, let's do a ginormous project with 4 million parts that's going to bring me in big bucks, and it's going to be all about the best of John Rambo, okay? Maybe that would be considered bad taste. When I'm doing a project on Patreon and the viewers themselves say, we loved those days back in the day. That's old school DSP and Rambo. Can we do a montage of the best stuff from back then, right? What is wrong with that? Well, it was monetized. So in John's eyes, anything monetized with him on it is bad. Patreon is bad. Anything is bad. Anything with money, bad. But again, beginning of the video, this isn't about money, right? This video is not about money. However, this is number 114 times that we've mentioned money, and we're still mentioning it at the end of the video. It's not about money, even though he was paid for those videos, right? This is my argument all the time, that I paid you a licensing fee to play your video game, okay? I paid the fee. Now I'm doing a Let's Play of it. You claim my video for music. I paid the fee to use the content in your game, all right? You've already been paid for that. Now I'm able to use it forever. Get it? Same thing here. He got paid for the videos. He received compensation. That was the agreement we had. There was no future agreements or anything about anything else in the future. How can you then say, how dare you ever use this content ever again in anything? Ever. I have to erase any interaction I ever had with Rambo and Howard off the internet. No. It happened. It's all there. It's documented. It will stay there forever. I will make 2 pennies every year on all the content we did. Because like I said, the old videos don't get monetized. They don't get ads. They don't. I make almost nothing on the ancient videos. It's the new stuff that I constantly pump out that makes the ad revenue. Not ancient videos. It just doesn't exist. It's just a myth of YouTube, that the old videos are getting tons of ad revenue. They don't get the same ads on them as the new videos. This is bullshit. So he thinks, Phil in perpetuity will always be making a living off of the content we did. No, I make nothing on it. It's ridiculous. It's a horrible argument from someone who doesn't understand the way YouTube works, and someone who doesn't have a leg to stand on in that argument, because I paid him for his work. What he wanted, by the way. He thought it was too much at the time, as we've already discussed. Okay.
Talks about behind my back on his forum or elsewhere. And I always catch wind of it, man. People.
We already talked about that.
And it gets to a point where it's too much, man.
Yeah, and then you figure if you don't, because then what happens is you don't go ahead and address it. And we were trying to avoid addressing this for a long time. But like I said, he goes and makes a video, and then he starts with this shit again with, making a video, trying to, and like I say it all the time, and a lot of other people say it, he's terrible at damage control.
I agree
terrible.
with that.
And sometimes
100%.
when he addresses things,
Back
it makes
then
it
was
ends
awful.
up
Much
being
better at it
even
today. Not
worse
great.
than what it really was.
And I think we probably didn't even have to do this.
Yeah.
Because when someone says like it's 100% on their side, I did nothing wrong. Like no one believes that.
No, yeah, exactly.
Maybe
no
some people do, but most people are like smart enough to be like, wait a second, that's really.
Yeah.
Like these other people we just lost our minds and became these fucking heinous villains, and it's usually not how the real world works, man. Yeah, maybe you're out to some of that WWE thing.
Right.
I think I'm
a heel in real life.
Yeah, and I like I said,
that was my persona in Street Fighter, not in real life.
You can tell,
man.
just, even from the beginning, why, like even from his name, like the King of Hate.
This is like so bullshit. Howard knows what the King of Hate means. He was there during the entire time when I was the King of Hate in Street Fighter. He knew what it meant. He's completely lying to his audience at this point to try to make points that don't make any sense. He knows that the King of Hate is not that I'm a hateful person on people on the internet. He's being a jackass here.
He enjoys that. He lives by that. And it's like, I understand if it's like a facade for like YouTube or, whatever the case may be. But like when you're doing these things in real life to people that are close to you, then you start questioning whether or not, if it's a facade or if it's the real you.
And look, man, at the end of the day, he didn't kill anybody.
No, he didn't.
He doesn't deserve to be put in prison or something or crucified or anything like that. I have no hatred towards him. I wish him the very, very best. I feel like everything we addressed here today is just stuff that's been put out there that needed to get the other side of it. A lot of misinformation. And that stuff, that'll piss you off, man. People say things about you that aren't true enough times. You gotta get your story out there. I think there's people out there that probably still won't believe or will deny things that were said here today.
Yeah,
so
it's
whatever,
it's
man.
not, and it's not going to matter anyways, because no matter how you look at it, you got to live by that philosophy. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and that's what's going to end up happening. Anything that we talk about today, it's going to get misconstrued in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
There's no misconstruing what you guys
stuff
did.
to do, man.
Yeah,
I got fun things to do. Like life is pretty simple, man. And I know you kind of cracked the code. You go to your job, you do the best you can. You go to your job, and maybe you don't like your job that much, but everything leads to something else.
What's he talking about?
You know what I mean?
What does this have to do with anything?
Wherever you may work out there, you're learning something. You may not realize that, but you're getting something out of it. You're getting life experience, that you could apply to something else. And I think life is kind of like a ladder, and you keep trying to climb to greater heights.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're off time, you don't spend your time shitting on other people. You don't spend your time being angry about things or feeling like the world owes you stuff. You spend your time
doing something
you might enjoy with people that you enjoy being around.
So this is the big summary. This is the end of the video. This is how they end the video. Basically, this is the dump. This is pull the lever, dump it on him. This is full-on projection. This is who they feel I am as a person. Do they watch my content? Obviously not. If they did, they would know that's not what it was. But that's what they feel.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. You don't need millions of dollars, my friends. You don't need the money. Views or
the views of the money. It's not what it's about.
It is.
Yeah. Last time, and like I said, I live by that. The last time I checked, YouTube doesn't sign my checks, so to me it doesn't really.
Would you really want? Okay. Would you really want them to? Would you want them to be your deal?
I personally wouldn't, because I can't deal with that. It's constantly having and like I said, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Mm-hmm. And I'll be completely honest with you. I'm very impressed at how successful he has gotten.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a very successful person for what he has done, in the past 5-6 years. And he was a pioneer in the beginning, I'm not going to say that he wasn't,
Absolutely.
But I think he's stuck in a rut. There's a lot of Let's Players, and it's hard to compete now unless you do things differently. And I think he's in a really bad spot, and that's why he's trying to reach out to us, but he doesn't know how to reach out. He does it in a negative way, and it really
Just
burns.
too much damage has been done.
Too much damage has been done, and it continues and the damage continues because he doesn't know how to divert the damage.
Yeah.
He just adds to it.
But I do care about him, and I hope he does great things.
Yeah,
I hope he could. If he is in some sort of, I don't really know, honestly. If he's in a tough spot, emotionally or whatever,
which I was
income-wise, I hope he can turn around. I think he can.
I mean, it wasn't about the income; it was about the emotion. Like I said, I was incredibly depressed, fucked up in the head, and got absolutely no kind of positive reaction, understanding, or anything from these guys. Nor maybe should I have, because again, we hadn't been talking and everything. But still, you know, it's funny because they're in the video like, gee, maybe someone is messaging us in the middle of the morning. Maybe they're drunk and depressed, and maybe we should, like, reach out. Nah, let's make a video about them for 90 minutes. That'll help the situation.
Can't do it.
Yeah. And I just want to throw this out there, and this is for John and myself. This is the last time we're going to address this.
Okay.
I'm not going to continue doing this. He says one thing, we say another. I'm not going to do this. Yeah. This is the first and the last time I'm going to address this.
Well, all right, that's for you. I might. We'll see.
Yeah.
But you're done. You're done with it.
I'm pretty much done because it's... You know what?
All right, here, I'll say this, okay?
Yeah.
I'll say this. So, instead of making a monetized response video or trying to, you know, post something on your forum, or maybe I won't see it or something like that, or trying to make profit off any of this, do what you said you were going to do back in August 2014. Give me an actual call. Give me the call that you promised that you were going to do.
Give both of us the call.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Give the call. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Give both of us the call. Why would I call Howard? I'm still confused. No, give both of us the call. No, I still want the call. I mean, I hate your guts and everything, like I've explained in this video, but please give me the call too. I need the attention.
Whatever you want to talk about. Okay?
Yeah.
And then that's that, man. That's that. And people want to come here and, well, you can come here and do whatever you want, really, because this is a bootleg channel. We put it together. But if you want to shit on me, and if you know, people out there, if you guys want to shit on me and say like your views are shit or whatever you want to say, man, my channel is me having fun with my friends. I don't put ads on my stuff because I don't have to. I don't ask the audience for anything except to hopefully have a good time and have a great time doing what I do. So please, again, tell me that I'm not successful. Okay? Tell me I'm not successful. Or you could just, you know, do the usual thing and say you're a big-nosed piece of shit. But, you know, that's true. That part is true.
You Jew-nose bastard.
Whoa. Let's calm down, buddy. Is that the end of this thing, this atrocity?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Adios, everybody.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the end. That's the very last second. I didn't leave anything else out. Okay? So here's the epilogue. Because, of course, everyone wants to know, well, what happened? What happened when this was released? How did this affect me? How did it all end? All right? So this was released. I can finally take this off, thank God. This was released 3 days after my Thanksgiving vlog. It was released, like I said, on that Uncanny Not Men channel. Why they had to make a new channel to put this up, I have no idea. Apparently, within, you know, a day or so of it being released, not only was the video deleted, the channel was too. Okay? Completely deleted from the internet. But the internet doesn't forget. And immediately it had been ripped, archived, and reposted all over the internet. So even though the original is not intact, this still has been all over the internet. All right? So what happened? I got contacted by everybody. By my fans, by my haters, longtime friends like the Airy Lord, all reached out to me saying, damn, Phil, wow, don't know if you're aware, but, you know, apparently your former friends have put out a hit piece against you. And we have no idea if it's real or not, or true or not. Or not real or not, but we don't know if what they're saying is true or not. But my God, some of the things they say in this video are pretty damning. To to the point where it really feels like character assassination. But if it's true, obviously you're pretty fucked. This is probably like the end of your career on the internet. All right, so bad. So is it true or not? A lot of people ask me that. I said I'm not even going to answer that. I don't know. I didn't watch it, you know, yet at that time. So, you know, certain people start telling me what's in the video. I didn't watch it yet. Certain people start telling me what's in the video, and they say, basically, not only did they have issues with Project 7, but they had issues with your way you talked about Scott. They literally say in the video, you know, horrible things about you, saying you're a drunk, basically. Of course, they didn't say that. They said this is what they think. That you're a drunk, that you're an abusive friend, all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Oh, well, they said that you called them in the middle of the night. Or not called them, excuse me. Texted them in the middle of the night. Sounded like you were drunk. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, you know, it's one thing if they put a video out and they're going to say, Phil's a jerk or whatever. It's another thing if they're now telling the internet, oh, so Phil's a depressed drunk, you know, which is essentially what you can piece together from that video. All right? Now, I said, what do I do about this? So, well, I could address it publicly, or I could take action immediately to make sure that the fucked up things that I'm doing when I'm drunk don't happen again. All right? So what did I do? Deleted not only their numbers from my phone, I deleted the entire history of us ever talking. All right? Emails. Deleted it all. Because I knew that when you're depressed and drunk, you always want to go back to that shit. Because it's happened to me before. I deleted it all. There's nothing. There's no history left. It's gone. From my phone, from everything, from my emails, gone. Nothing. There's no correspondence left between me and them. All deleted. Basically within a day. I got rid of it all. Because I didn't want to have a chance that I would get drunk and depressed again and reach out to them again. Because they made it pretty abundantly clear in this video they didn't ever want to hear from me again. At least that's the way that I take it. When someone's saying to you, you monetize the death of your friend and you publicize their death, you didn't pay us what you owed us, you constantly said nasty things about us, and we basically have had it. You know, you're drunk, you're texting us at night, doing all this fucked up stuff. When you know, again, I didn't watch the video yet. This is just people telling me this. So my initial reaction is, I guess I don't want a chance ever doing that again. So I deleted it all. So as of that moment, which is probably like the day after they released the video, I had no chance to ever reach out to them because I didn't have their contact information. I deleted it completely. Okay, I don't have it anymore, which is a good thing. I feel it was the right thing to do, because if I had become drunk again and did something stupid when I was depressed, who knows what it would have been at that point, right? So that was that, and that was done. As I told you, I did not actually watch the recording until months and months, if not like a year later. I'm trying to actually remember, all right? And at that point, like, I deleted everything, and, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, if these guys ever want to talk to me again, they'll reach out to me, and they'll talk to me. They have my information. I'm the public figure here. I'm the one who has a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel. I don't know if I was doing YouTube or Twitch at the time, but you know what I'm saying. A Twitter. They knew my address. You know, they still had my cell phone number. If they had a desire to ever reach out and talk to me ever again, they could have. All right. But what's funny is in this video, you've seen it now in its entirety. All right. The things they've said about me, the accusations they've made, I've fessed up to the things that I feel I did. There's a lot of things in this video that are completely either misconstrued or actually completely exaggerated to a point of absurdity. The fact that they would say I publicized and profited off of Scott's death is probably one of the most insulting things anyone could ever say to anyone. And when that is said about me, I don't have a desire to ever talk to you ever again. Okay? That's, of all the things you can say in this video, fine. That's the one that's like, you can't come back from that. You know what I'm saying? When I actually finally watched this video and I saw the malicious way that Howard was saying stuff like that, I was like, that is it. I've never, ever will want to speak with this man ever again in my life. I wish him the best. Hope he has a great life. But if anything, what this has shown me is a pattern of behavior of someone who, when they're in your face, they're friendly to you. They claim they like you. They want to be in stuff with you, content. They want to go on trips. But then all of a sudden, behind your back, they're constantly saying bad things about you. They're saying this and that about you. Oh, you should have paid. You didn't pay. Oh, you should have done this. You didn't do this. You're a bad friend. You're this. You're that. You're publicizing that. You're doing that. What? Wow. And never once was that ever brought up to me. Ever. Howard, not once ever said a word to me negatively. Never. Okay? Rambo did. A few times. Like I said, probably twice when I lived in Connecticut. Each time we had the conversation, I'm sorry, I screwed up. He forgave me. We moved on positively with our lives. We kept having a relationship where we'd make content together. We'd have fun together. I paid for all the, the trip shit and all that for most of the time. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. If it had something to do with, cost of gas, hotel room or whatever, getting access to the events, that was me. It all continued. After these conversations we had that were, oh, you did something wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. I really bad. I was insecure. I screwed up. All right, I forgive you. Great. Let's keep going. Right? Let's have a fun life together here as friends. So the fact that, I moved, and it seemed like the moment I moved, that was the end. The moment I moved, the attitudes changed. Right? The moment I fucking moved, it was, oh, there's another reason why I can't do this. There's another reason. There's another reason. Now I'm not even going to give you the reason anymore. I'm just not going to respond to you anymore. And we've already gone through this, so you know the situation. I was in the wrong a lot, but this is not a situation that was one-sided. This is a situation that was kind of two-sided, and it seems to me that now that you watch this in its entirety and you get the frames of reference, what you see happen, it was a combination of many different factors, including trolling to both of us on both sides. I could handle the trolling, even though I very frequently mismanaged it and said dumb shit because of it. I carried on. They could not. They were feeling so hurt by the troll. Oh, your fans, your misguided fans came and insulted me. They were my fans. Those were the same trolls that troll me on a daily basis, but you for some reason thought, right, that they were my fans. They're not. These are the same people. They orchestrated shit to make us get at each other's throats because they like seeing good things end, right? These miserable fucktard people who just want to end good things on the internet because they can. They get a good flex out of it. They feel good about themselves when they ruin something good for someone else. And that was a major factor over the years about that. Okay? And you would even say at the end of all of this, you might say, well, Phil, would you ever talk to John and Howard ever again? Howard, no. I'm done. There's zero chance I would ever want to speak another word to that guy after what he said in this video. It's ridiculous. He interjected himself into this video to begin with. He was not the subject matter. The subject matter was supposed to be the friendship between me and John that ended when I moved for some odd reason that now has been extrapolated upon in this video, right? Why is Howard in this video? Howard doesn't like me for various reasons. You can agree with them, you can disagree with them. Maybe you agree with some, you disagree with others. Why is he in this video? The problem was me and Rambo, and always was. We were the ones who were going to have that extended friendship after I moved. How the fuck is he in here? What does he have to do with any of this? And he's the one who says the most inflammatory things in this video when he was never part of the equation. Ever. He acts like he is. He's not. All right? It's ridiculous. The extent that he's in here as an instigator and the things that he's saying about me, I want nothing to do with this guy. I hope he has a great life. I hope he has a great family with kids and all that. I have no idea. I don't follow the guy. I have no clue. I hope that he's happy. All right? I really do. I just want nothing to do with him ever again after this. Now, Rambo, here's the thing. I really did love the guy when we were friends. All right? I did. Absolutely, positively, 100%. I loved the guy. He was one of my closest friends at the time. When I moved, it all ended. It just did. Like, we never were the same after I moved. In fact, I never even felt like we had a meaningful friend-like conversation after I moved, okay? So to me, that friendship ended in 2014. It's now 2022. The guy has no internet presence anymore. All right? I know nothing about it. I hope that he's having a good life. I do. I hope that he's having a good life and he's safe somewhere. All right? However, what could possibly come from me, talking to Rambo at this point in my life? Let's be honest. All right? Let's be honest. We're disconnected for how many years? If anything, what I've learned is, sadly, when it comes to me, no matter what, the negativity ends up rubbing off, right? Can we agree there? Like, even if I'm well-intentioned, even if I don't want anything bad to happen, whether it's trolls, whether it's something else, negative, it always seems to rub off, all right? I'm going to be honest with you guys again. Another thing that I've never really revealed. You may notice, and by the way, this person I'm about to mention is going to be shocked because he didn't know I was going to bring him up in this video. I have a person who I've done co-op with over the years by name Brian, okay? He actually was a friend of Rambo and Howard. He was in Shazman a whole bunch as an actor. Over the years, we've done cooperative gameplay. Okay? And he, over the years, has always expressed a desire to do more co-op with me. All right? He's been friendly to me behind the scenes. I've been cold to him. And I don't talk to him that much. And this is why. Right? I don't want to engage with a close relationship or friendship with someone outside of maybe every once in a while you get a little bit of co-op or a little bit of interaction, and that's friendly stuff. I don't want to engage in this kind of friendship again because of this. Because I never once had any issue with these guys in person. And the few times that there were, we hashed it out. But look what happened. Even with all the well-intentions in the world, right? Look what happened, right? It fucking exploded. It got toxic as fuck for everyone. Not just me, for them too. I'm sure on their end, they were constantly being bombarded with toxicity and fucked up things. You know what I'm saying? And in that regard, I don't ever want that to happen to anyone else ever again. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I feel like even with the best of intentions, if I had a friendship again with someone like that, it would just go toxic again. I really feel this. And I know that's fucked up. Because, you know, Brian's a really good guy. He's a nice guy. He's friendly. Every once in a while, he hits me up with like a text. He's like, what's going on? I want to, want to do some, let's talk. Or I'd just be friends. Or do you want to do a co-op or whatever? And I know he feels that I ghost him. I don't talk to him a lot. That's on purpose. I feel like, I almost feel like, how can I say it? Like I'm poison. If I try to be friendly with someone for any extended period of time, it's just going to be bad for them. It's fucked up to think that way, I know, but I do. I've got this stigma stuck in my head about this, that this will always happen in my life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like any kind of interaction that I ever would have with Rambo would just be bad for him. That he's probably off there having a good life. He's probably off there having a great time. And I want him to have a great life and a happy life and a family, whatever he wants. I want him to have success. I want him to have notoriety. I want him to love life. All right? Because we had those years together when he was loving life when we were together and we were doing fun stuff together. I know for a fact because he told me, There was always fucked up stuff that was happening in our personal lives. But when we were together doing co-op or we were traveling for a trip, we were having a good time together. That was the highlight, right? So I said, to them, it seemed like it was business. To me, that was fun. To me, that was the fun shit. The fact that I made $1 doing it was hilarious. I mean, I'm having fun with my friends. We're making money doing it. This is ridiculous. This is like the best of all situations, the best of all worlds. You know what I'm saying? And now I look back at that fondly, but I don't think it'll ever happen again. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm a very different guy now, by the way. I make different content, okay, for a different kind of audience. I am married, happily married. I live across the country. All right, I'm separate. I'm in a situation now where I'm able to successfully make content that doesn't need to have that anymore. I don't rely on someone else to be a part of my content to have that. There's no possibility of toxicity to come over. Why doesn't Phil do online co-op with his viewers? This is why. Toxicity. The trolls getting involved, fucking things up for everyone. Why do I not have any friends outside of my wife? Because of this is why. The toxicity. Why does my wife and I have a private life that isn't publicized on the internet? This is why. Do you see? This is something that's happened to me over and over and over in my life now. Since I became a YouTuber, I'm seeing this happen with even my closest of friends who are supposed to be, the biggest friends of my life, and look what happened. So how can I say that would not happen again if I were to invite other people into my life as friends, right? So that's why. And do I have time for friends? In reality, I don't have a lot of time for friends either. I wouldn't really have much or any time for friends. If anything, I want to spend more time with my wife to begin with anyway. But I don't even get past that first step. You know what I'm saying? I don't even get past that first step of, let's go past the step of, we did a co-op together online and we had some fun playing Apex Legends or whatever. Let's now extend that into personal life and have personal conversations. I don't want to go there. I just don't. Because it's toxic shit, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid. What's to stop history from repeating itself? I'm in a good place right now, personally in my life. I'm happy with my life. I wish I had more time to spend with my family. I just spent 12 hours on a stream. I'm sure my wife is furious with me, because I'm pretty sure she didn't expect for me to be on here as long as I was. Okay? If anything, what I will leave you guys with is this. All right? Some advice, things that I've learned. The first life lesson that I learned out of all of this, all right, is if you're going to mix business with friendship, you absolutely, positively must have a contract. It doesn't matter how friendly you are with the people. It does not matter how much you think you're different from other stories you've heard. Like, I knew about the screw attack story with Stuttering Craig and Handsome Tom and how their friendship had fallen apart. I said, that'll never happen to us. Apparently, that's exactly what happened to us. We were no better. We were no smarter. We fell right down the same hole, the same problems. So, no matter what, have a contract in place so that way everyone knows what's going on and there's no unreasonable expectations down the line. What's fair is fair, they said a million times. What's fair to me is what we agreed to and you guys wanted and never asked for anything more. Not, oh, Phil's some crazy philanthropist who's going to start pulling out wads of money out of his pockets and tossing it in the air, which, by the way, I kind of did whenever we went on trips and shit and I was paying for stuff and everything. I thought everything was good, you know. Again, wasn't told otherwise. Another life lesson for everyone out there, okay? Jeez, hold on. Separate your private life from your public life. Even if you're an internet content creator, you have to have a separation. You can't have every moment of your life documented and put on the internet. And if you have a friendship that's based around things that are only public, it's not really a friendship. Okay? With John, I absolutely had moments that we had private stuff behind the scenes. With Howard, that was never the case. We almost never had anything unless we were making content or whatever for the internet or going to a Street Fighter tournament. You know, that was our interaction. That's not a real friendship. Okay? You should absolutely have a separation between the public and the private, because when you only have everything public facing on the internet, all right, that's when it all goes wrong. You have to have actual, you know, relationships and understandings behind the scenes, or else it's not really a relationship, in my opinion. Okay. Lastly, the last thing I leave you with, my longest stream ever. All right, never be afraid to be upfront and honest with someone about anything. Okay, never. Same thing that I said in my video from 2015. Sorry, I still believe in it today. If you have an issue with someone, excuse me, I just belched. Tell them. Be upfront and honest and transparent about it. Don't let it stir. Don't let it fester. You know, with John, he did bring up things from time to time with me, and that was good. With Howard, that never happened. He never said a word to me negative, but then he says all this shit behind my back. Apparently, again, the circle of friends that hate me, and then he's involved in the video even though he's not even my friend. Like, what the fuck is this? Right? Don't be afraid to be honest and upfront. If you are honest and upfront with someone about an issue, and they're angry with you because you were, all right, that's not someone who respects you, right? That's not a friend. A friend should be appreciative of the fact that you want to address issues and get them worked out. A friend should be someone who's not offended when you bring up their shortcomings because you want them to understand that you want them to be better, okay? I wasn't like that with them because when John brought shit up, every time I was like, oh my God, that feeling in my chest. I can't believe I fucking pissed off John. He's the one person I never want to piss off on this planet. And I did because I fucked up and I did stupid shit, you know? I was never angry that John ever brought up something to me that he called me out for. I was happy that he did, all right? I let him down as a friend over the years, and that's sad to me, you know? And I think at this point, like I said, this is it for me. I'm not bringing this up again. We've covered it for 12 fucking hours. Well, I guess it was more like 10 hours. I'm done with this shit, all right? I'm not talking to Howard ever again. Maybe at some crazy, random chance, at one point in the future, I will talk to Rambo, excuse me. But at this point in my life, I've moved on. I don't think anything good could ever come of it. Being honest, if he called me right now, I'd be like, I don't think I want to answer that phone. Because the moment I answer it, the toxic shit starts coming through the lines again. And I don't want him to be touched by that. I'm sure he has a great life at this point, you know, away from all that shit. He doesn't want to be wrapped up in that shit again. I want him to be happy and separated from this toxic shit that has become my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope this is the end of it. If you have questions moving forward about John and Howard, watch this. That's it. Done with it. I moved on completely. Not even a topic of discussion for me. All right? I'm a different person now. It's a different life. And I hope that at least some of you learned something out of me doing this. Maybe this will help you to stop from making the same exact mistakes that I made over time. I'm not a perfect guy, not even close to being a perfect guy. I made tons of mistakes. I'm very regretful of the fact that these guys were hurt by me. And it's sad the way it ended. But, you know, that's life. I think 7 years later, probably all happy with how our lives went. I know I am. I hope they are. And that's that. Okay, guys? That is it. Holy shit. Like I told you guys, I need a break from drama. I'm not doing this shit for a long time. That was too long. I'm done. We're ending it right now. Thank you for watching. Whether you watched on stream or you watched on demand on YouTube, I hope that you learned something. Peace. Fuck out. Jesus Christ. What did I just click? I don't know what I just clicked. I clicked the wrong damn